Yes. Hello, everyone. So, I'm assuming everyone among us knows who J.K. Rowling is. She's one of the most popular authors of our generation has ever followed, and she wrote one of the most popular stories of our lifetime, Harry Potter. Yes, and it's nothing new, but J.K. Rowling has been a TERF for a while now. I mean, she has always been a TERF, and she has been very vocal about it on social media platforms, especially Twitter. And yesterday, she tweeted few tweets being a TERF again. So I just wanted to analyze the tweets, and because it's like J.K. Rowling has actually divided the Harry Potter fandom into very two divisive parts. One who like supports Rowling for everything and defends her for everything, and the sensible people like me who think she's a turf. I mean, I still love Harry Potter, but I don't like J.K. Rowling. So let's begin with the first tweet, which is she starts by saying, "If sex isn't real, oh, okay, well, so I'm in many transgender groups, LGBTQ groups, feminist groups. I'm in many groups, many leftist groups, and no one ever said that sex isn't real. Like sex is biological. Gender is a social construct. Now, what she does here is that she thinks that gender and sex are the same thing, which they are not. And it has been scientifically proven. Gender is based on sex, that's true, but they're very different things. And gender is, of course, a social construct. And the thing with sex is, yeah, it is real, it is biological, but it's non binary. That's been established already. Like sex isn't binary, the gender, of course, is a social construct. So, yeah, it's not binary at all, and sex isn't binary either. And so then she continues on saying, there's no same sex attraction. So, if sex isn't real, there's no same sex attraction. Well, I already said sex is real. No one says sex isn't real. I don't know, like, if someone says sex isn't real, they're wrong. But the mainstream agenda, the mainstream movement of for trans rights isn't claiming that sex isn't real. And then she says it again, if sex isn't real, the lived reality of women globally is erased. Okay, sure. So I already said that no one says sex isn't real, sex is biological, but she continues with saying the lived reality of women globally is erased. Um, no one, I don't think, like, the thing about feminist movements is it's not, it's about women and the problems women face all around the world, fighting patriarchy, and not just women, it affects men too. But I feel like uh, some of the women whom she calls women are not, whom she supposes to be women are not women at all. She goes on saying, I know and love trans people, but erasing the concept of sex removes the ability of many to meaningfully discuss their lives. Okay, so here's the thing, the life experiences of cis women and trans women are different because they have lived completely different lives, different childhoods. I'm guessing there are these days more kids who turn out to be trans get a more accepting family in the West, probably, but yes, there's still lots of transphobia in the world which needs to be tackled. But she says she knows and loves trans people, Oh, um, okay, so her position is that, oh yeah, I love them as people, but okay, no, I love them, but their identity is not real. So that's what she's saying. Like, even though she says trans people, she probably means trans women. I don't know. And most trans folk usually just mean it. Trans people, they always mean trans women when they say trans people or anything. But erasing the concept of sex removes the ability to meaningfully discuss their lives. I don't see how. I mean, again, no one's erasing the concept of sex. She has no freaking idea what she's talking about. She, I mean, it's such a pain to see one of my favorite childhood authors things so disgusting on the internet. But it's like she's just like she doesn't even want to acknowledge the identity. I mean, the thing of the phrase here, the lived reality of women, it should be the lived reality of cis women, biological women. I mean, cis woman is better term, of course, but that's still not true. The sentence is still not true, but that's what it should be put as. So when she's decided that only cis women are women, she's already transphobic. She's already being transphobic. So saying that she loves trans people is meaningless. It's completely meaningless when she doesn't mean uh, trans women to be women, when she doesn't think of trans women as women or trans men as men. She when she says women, she means just cis women here. It isn't hate to speak the truth. Okay, this is something most speakers say. Hey, I'm just speaking the truth. It isn't hate. They just hide behind speaking the truth when she doesn't know what the truth is at all. And then we go on to the next tweet, which is the idea that women like me, cis women, who have been empathetic to trans people for decades, okay, so allies, whatever, feeling kinship because they are vulnerable in the same way as women, that is, to male violence, hate trans people because they think sex is real and has lived consequences, is nonsense. Okay, so she never, she always says trans people, okay? I mean, when she says that trans people face the same, they're vulnerable in the same way as women to male violence, she means mostly trans women, okay? I mean, okay, I'm not just saying that trans men don't face any problems or violence. I'm not saying that, but she mostly has the problem with trans women, even though she's against all trans people. She's against the identity of transgender, and so she doesn't acknowledge that she's just cis woman and there are trans women. She thinks that she is a woman and trans women are not women. It's completely implied here. Like no one says they are vulnerable in the same way as women. It completely denies that trans women are women. I don't know how this is so freaking transphobic. I mean, if you don't understand it, like oh yeah, let's just say, okay, so the Black Lives Matter, it's a big thing right now, the racism in the US and everything. So let's just think of that, like a racist guy, a KKK guy comes up and says, oh yeah, oh yeah, black dudes, they're so vulnerable just the same way as people are. You see how that sounds? It's like he doesn't even consider black people as people. So it's the same thing when she's comparing they're vulnerable in the same way as women. She doesn't think that trans women are women, and she's including trans men in this woman too. I bet you. Male violence hate trans people because they think sex is real. Okay, sex is real. She's, I mean, I hate to say this, but she sounds like a complete idiot saying, "Oh yeah, people say sex isn't real. This is the trans agenda or something," which it's completely bullshit. I mean, it's a nonsense. Well, J.K. Rowling is a nonsense. And then we come to the last trait, which is I respect every trans person's right to live in any way that feels authentic and comfortable to them. Good. I'd march with you if you were discriminated against on the basis of being trans. Okay. At the same time, my life has been shaped by being female. I do not believe it's hateful to say so. Okay, so you see what problem is? Yeah, you are female. That's sex. Alright. But and you are a woman because you are cis woman. You were born female and you identify as a woman. So you are a cis woman. But there are people who are born male and identify as a woman, and they are trans women. That's the thing, she doesn't want to acknowledge that female is sex. Yep, woman is gender. And yes, if it's hateful to say that you do not recognize the identity. I mean, she just thinks like being trans is like anything, any other, I don't know, just changing your wardrobe. Yeah, that's not what being trans is. I mean, by if we go by her logic, tomboys will be considered as trans, and feminine men would also be considered as trans. They are not trans. Tomboys are women, and feminine men are men. That's complete. That's absolute. Okay, you cannot say, oh, a tomboy is a trans man or a feminine man is a trans woman. No, that's not how it works. That's what I'm saying. Gender is a social construct. Your clothes, they don't mean anything. Anyone can wear clothes. Anyone can live the life that they want. Gender is in the just what you feel like. Okay, then there doesn't need to be so many restrictions. And even sex, I don't know, she for her, I mean, what does this thing female means? I mean, does it involve having a vagina, having the ovaries, a uterus, or the XX chromosomes? Because let me tell you, there are people with other chromosomes like XXY and stuff, and there are some very few people like intersex people who have a dick and uterus. Something else like who are they? Are they? I mean, how would Rowling consider them in her her sexual binary that she thinks is true? Rowling is just makes me so freaking mad, and I just feel so sad that one of my favorite authors from my childhood is so bigoted in real life. Now that I'm seeing her on social media, it deeply saddens me. But the wonderful thing is, like Daniel Radcliffe, Emma Watson, they're like major allies to the LGBTQ people, and that's very great. Emma Watson is like a huge trans ally, not at all, not at all like Rowling. I don't know what they think about Rowling, but they're awesome. And I'm just sad to see Rowling being such an asshole in the internet, but that's what it is. Rowling spreads nonsense on her Twitter account, and She just needs to learn about what being transgender is, what gender and sex are, that they are different, they're not the same, and no one says that sex isn't real. Sex is real. I mean, Rowling learned something, I guess. Anyway, so that's all I wanted to say about it. I mean, probably I didn't explain it really good, but I really depressed. I mean, I was really saddened by the current issues, like different issues all around the world, and during this pandemic, the U.S. protests, the solidarity protests, and now Rowling comes up and says something like this again. I mean, she has been known to be a TERF for a while, but still. Anyways, see you again next time. Bye.